where we have so many of us as Black women facing so many things. I mean, if we just look at cardiovascular health, obviously we lead in that. Our hearts are literally bursting and breaking because of what we're carrying.
Sometimes you fight for laws and you can't believe you have to fight for that law. Like, it should just be common sense.
I had a complete shift change where I was working 8 a.m., now I'm working 8 p.m.
So when did you actually sleep?
I don't know.
Because the math not math.
As now, my newest thing is capacity, right? Do I have the capacity for it?
Welcome to a very special edition of Behind a Confident Smile. I'm your host, Bianca Cotton, and I'm joined this week by a live studio audience. This week, we're going to engage in a powerful and often unspoken conversation. Who holds the mother while she holds the baby? I'll be sitting in conversation and in community with three phenomenal women, exploring what it truly means to mother the mother, the support systems every mom needs, and the often challenging reality behind the smiles so many mothers wear. Did you know a U.S. study found that 66% of parents feel lonely and isolated because of the demands of parenting, and nearly 4 out of 10 feel completely unsupported? Here's the thing. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a health risk. Chronic loneliness has been linked to perinatal depression, anxiety, and even physical health issues, with research showing its impact can be as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's why this conversation matters so much to me personally as I manage my journey as a new mom once again. Let's get started. My first guest is a certified professional midwife and the founder and executive director of the Black Midwifery Collective. She has dedicated over 20 years to advancing Black maternal health, leading community and legislative efforts to close racial disparities in maternal and infant outcomes. Star August Ali, welcome to Behind the Confident Smile.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on your next chapter in your journey within motherhood.
Thank
It's
you.
important to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was so captivated by your Facebook post. That's how I first found out about you. I was looking for someone to encapsulate my placenta.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, she can do this.
Yes.
So diving into you being a certified professional midwife, from your perspective of over 2 decades of work, what does it really mean to mother the mother? And why is this support so critical during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum?
Okay, so that's definitely, I love to speak on that as a midwife, right? Because I come across sisters all the time. And so we have to look at pregnancy from a holistic standpoint, right? So it's not just the physical aspect, it's the mental, it's the spiritual aspect of it as well. And so as a home birth midwife specifically, the care that we offer is completely different than what you receive within a hospital system. We're able to go within your home and really cultivate an individualized care plan for you and your baby. And in terms of mothering the mother, this is where we really step in as midwives. If you really had a chance to really study our history and what we brought to our communities before our practice was essentially eradicated, obviously now my legislative efforts have really brought it back to the U.S. With our legislation legalizing CPMs in the state in 2021, and with the historic project I'm working now installing what will be the first direct entry midwifery program in the state to grow and diversify the midwifery working force. We bring such a healing to our communities, right? So going into a person's home, a sister's home, you have a chance to really be present with her. You're able to really see what she really needs in real time. You're able to see how her mental health is and how you can connect her with other people within the community. But when it comes to mothering a mother, you have to be able to be completely present. You have to be able to hold space for them. You have to be able to see where she may or may not need resources or support, and to be able to meet that gap. And that's important, especially in the time right now, where we have so many of us as Black women facing so many things. I mean, if we just look at cardiovascular health, obviously we lead in that. Our hearts are literally bursting and breaking because of what we're carrying. So when we talk about holding the mother, it's holding us completely, physically being present, mentally being present, but really holding ground and holding the space. And that's something that we do as midwives. Whenever I go to a home birth, I'm there, I come in, I'm really there to really ground the space, to get her to come back into her body and to physically be present, to be in that moment in time. And so when we think about holding the mother, it's our entire community as all, right? Because everything is not completely siloed. We have to work together collectively to really set the mother up to be in the best space, to be present as a mother, and to really care for the life that has been placed in front of her.
So take us back to the moment where you were like, I want to hold mothers. I want to be there for my sisters in this way. Take us back to that moment.
So really it was through my own birth experience, right? Having a traumatic birth, really having like a deep sense of realization in terms of what we were facing here specifically in the US, but all over the world, specifically with obstetric racism, right? That's what we're talking about. So when I had my own bout with the United States medical health system, which I would like to call a technocratic system or an industrialized healthcare system, I really saw that the humanity was taken out of this care system and that we really needed somebody to really be there, like physically present, mentally present, to really hold a sister in a way that would help her to be more present with our children, right? As women, we really are imperative when it comes to the mindset of the people around us. As a mother, we are the first teacher, right? We're your first teacher. We're your first nurse. So the mindset of everybody that we have walking around here has manifested or come from, most likely, the mindset of a woman. So whenever a woman is not honored in the correct way, we have things like we have in society right now where our status of women has fallen. And so I give thanks for programs like this because it really uplifts us in our rightful place and really shines a light on what others may not see, so that we're able to really try to address this hopefully from a systemic system change lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've already started talking about the gaps that exist in the support. What, if you could name two of the gaps and how your legislative work is helping to bridge that gap, what are those two?
So some of the gaps, okay, so for instance, when we really worked on legislative policy, I came to an organization called ICCPM, rose to the ranks, became the first president of color, and led legislative policy legalizing CPMs in the state. This was around COVID. A lot of sisters were then still going to the hospital systems and they were not able to bring in a partner. So by legalizing this piece of legislation, we allowed people to have other options outside of that system to be able to have their families present. When I attend a home birth as a midwife, it's a family celebration. Everybody's there. Everybody has an opportunity to hold space, to hold her in that sacred moment in time. So that's one aspect, and also the mental component of it. I'll give one example. There was a sister that had a home birth, and shortly after that birth, it was a first-time mom. She had, she encountered like psychosis. She called me 3 hours later and said, I feel like I'm going to hurt myself and I feel like I'm going to hurt my baby. So because we had developed such a strong relationship, as we do as home birth midwives, right? We have a chance, we're coming in your house.
Yeah.
Every visit, I'm there at your house. I get a chance to sit with your family, with your partner, with your children. I'm able to go in your refrigerator to see what you may or may not have, what you're putting into your system, to be able to suggest holistic remedies, right? First addressing your diet, then herbs, and then pharmaceuticals as the last option. But this mother, she just really needed support. And if we had not had that bond, right, through us interacting in that way and being close and really being a safe space for her, it could have went completely different. But she was able, and she felt safe enough to call me, and I immediately stayed on the phone and drove to her house immediately and sat with her. So when it comes to closing the gaps, I think it's important that I think one of the biggest impacts that this piece of legislation has had is that it's allowed us to have culture congruent care from people that look like us, that live within our community. Our children may play together, but we're able to really understand the plight of being a Black woman in 2025 and what it requires for us to be in a safe space to be able to deliver our babies safely from a holistic standpoint, also addressing not only the physical aspect, but also the mental and the spiritual as well.
For someone who may be listening and watching and say, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a doula, what can I do? What are some simple, practical ways that families and friends and even the faith communities can support?
You can support by just holding space and listening and encouraging her and really validating, because I feel like there's a lot of sisters that may want to take this path, right? That may technically want to have quote unquote, what we call quote unquote out of the norm, but really it's just the norm. But there's a lot of stigma because it's new. It's new to the state of Illinois, right? Being able to birth outside of the hospital system. And some sisters may face judgment from their families because we're choosing other options than what we've been presented or really funneled into. And so I know that by us having support from our families, it really helps women to be mentally present and to feel safe within the space and really have the opportunity to invite their family into the birthing space and to have that love and that connection and that support right there.
What do you say to a mom who doesn't have family support in the way that they want it? For example, why are you breastfeeding that baby? Just get that baby a formula when it gets hard, right? Because breastfeeding is not easy, and that's a misnomer. It's not easy. Or why are you choosing to use coconut oil instead of lotion?
Yeah.
Right, like when other options are presented, or you know, different generations do things differently. Oh, that's your generation. Right. We didn't do that. What do you say to that mother?
I try to surround her by other like-minded mothers that are on that same journey, that have that same thought process, right? Because you're not alone. Oftentimes we feel like we're in silos, but in reality, we as Black women of color are the #1 demanders of community-based birth. We understand that over 92% of the deaths were deemed preventable, and we know that we have other options on the table. Now, we really are that generation that's moving out and taking fear out of it and moving in faith, right? Because we have no other option. We won't consciously walk into the hospital knowing that data, so hence we have unassisted home birth on the rise. My third child, I gave birth unassisted. I was unwilling to walk within a medical system, knowing what I know, have been through what I have been through, and to willingly lay on that table and give them access to my womb. So, and this is what's really this is the spirit and the energy and the mindset that's really needed to really be a catalyst to change the narrative and to really make the systemic change that we so desperately want within this space. Right? We're shifting it back to community, and community is that which holds the mother.
Yes. So for those who don't know what an unassisted birth means, please share.
Okay, so unassisted home birth is you giving birth at home with just yourself, sometimes with just your partner, somebody that would not be quote unquote trained as a medical or licensed provider. You have enough wherewithal, enough faith within yourself to be able to give birth to your child wherever. And I think a lot of it stems from traumatic births. A lot of us who choose that route, we're not able to find providers of color that we feel safe with. And hence why I'm really addressing that on the systems change level in terms of getting midwives on the ground as quickly as possible. But anytime we get to the point where, like I said, we consciously know what we're walking into, a lot of us feel that we have a better chance of surviving by just doing it at home with ourselves, by ourselves.
Ooh, star. As we wrap up our time together,
Yes.
what is one piece of wisdom you want to leave us with when it comes to holding the mother while she holds the baby? Because the mother's not going to drop the baby, right? What do you want to leave us with?
I would like us to leave us with that no nation can rise any higher than its woman. We have to be liberated and really seen within our rightful position in this time if we really want to manifest and bring forward what we all can see within our minds. We really are, our wombs are the sacred workshop, and until that's really acknowledged, and we acknowledge that, right, and really move with faith out of the current system that we have, and really know that the answer is in the room and within all of us, and move in that space, will we then be able to, quote unquote, birth our liberation and to create a new reality that we so all also deserve and want so much.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, star. Thank you for joining me. Oh, thank you so much for your incredible work you're doing to support moms and families.
Thank you.
On the other side of this break, Women's Employee Chief of Staff Mary Kay Devine joins me to discuss the policies that support pregnant and postpartum moms and the laws she is advocating for. Stay with us.
When you commit to authentic voices, when you trust powerful stories, recognition follows. 2 Emmy nominations, the first in our history. Stream the Emmy-nominated programs now on cantv.org or on the CanTV Plus app. CanTV. Experience the power of community television.
I'm Wattice Gathings, inviting you to tune in to the next edition of Sisters Talking, when the sisters and I discuss taking our rest.
Here's the difference. I can't take off my blackness like you can take off a jacket. You will be able to continue to function in this world and have all of the privilege.
Join the conversation Tuesday at 7 p.m. on CanTV Cable Channel 19 or stream online at cantv.org. Elevated conversations and storytelling. Experience the power of community television.
Mary Kay serves as the Chief of Staff for Women Employed, a 50-year advocacy organization whose mission is to improve the economic status of women and remove barriers to economic equity. She is an accomplished activist and advocate who connects communities and provides resources to help women and their families thrive. Welcome to Behind the Confident Smile, Mary Kay.
Thank you, Bianca. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
It is gonna be good. We have a lot to talk about.
The law, help us all.
Yes.
What inspired you to step into the fight for laws that protect women and moms in the workplace?
Yeah. I mean, first, just my upbringing. Like, my parents laid the foundation for making the world a better place. That was their only expectation. And I came straight out of college and went into the labor movement, and I was an organizer for about 10 years. And most of the women who I met, sitting in their kitchen tables, meeting them on their porch or outside their workplace, were low-paid women, mostly women of color, and so many immigrants. And they did not have power in the workplace. And so I really saw my purpose in the labor movement, helping women win rights and protections to shift that power balance. It's all about power, to shift that power balance at work. And then when I was pregnant with my second child, I was telling somebody in the green room, I was making the commute from Chicago to Toronto on a fairly regular basis to cover for my colleague who had gone on her 1-year Canadian maternity leave. I thought, what is going on with my life that I am commuting Chicago to Toronto while Courtney's on leave? And I had a miscarriage scare with Charlie, and my midwife was like, we're done with that commute. So worked in Chicago a few more months and really had to search my soul, like, how can I continue this life's work and passion? And by the grace of God, somebody introduced me to the former executive director at Women Employed, and I got talking. So 6 months later, when a job opened, I put my name in the hat and applied, and I've been there 17 years.
Wow, what
Yeah.
a story.
Yeah.
And my condolences to you.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
Charlie survived.
Oh, he survived.
She did.
Oh,
Yeah, she did.
sorry.
Yeah. No, it was scary. Like we really thought it was over. Like I'm listening to what Star was just talking about, and they had declared it over, and we're about to take action that it was over, and it was only because the chief OB finally came in and hollered at the team that we have Charlie in our life. So you want to talk
Wow.
about industrial complex at hospitals. It was really scary.
I feel the chills up my
Oh,
arm.
it was, yeah, no, it was unbelievable. But yeah, no, she's thriving. She's a senior in high school, living her best life. So we're very fortunate.
Wow. Fight on.
Yes, yes.
So we need to be informed.
Yes.
What is the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act?
Yeah.
And what are the paid leave laws?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act was passed in Illinois in 2015, and Women Employed really led that fight. Passed nationally in 2023, but we were at the forefront, setting the pace. And I often tell folks, Bianca, sometimes you fight for laws and you can't believe you have to fight for that law. Like it should just be common sense. So
Yes.
a lot of folks are familiar with light duty. You know, maybe you hurt your back or you had surgery or you were in a car accident, and it's like, oh, you can sit for more hours. You don't have to lift such heavy boxes. You don't have to walk around the workplace as much. And those laws did not apply to pregnant women. So for years, we worked with our coalition partners and won the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act that fundamentally means employers must extend reasonable accommodations to women who are pregnant, recently gave birth, or have other medical conditions related to pregnancy and childbirth. Accommodations including being allowed to drink water at your workspace.
And that's a reasonable accommodation?
For real, for real.
Okay.
Being allowed to sit down. So if you picture a clerk like at Target or some retail store, they're all standing.
Correct.
So that law meant she could sit on a stool for part of her shift. And if she's drinking more water, her boss can't get mad if she has to go to the bathroom a little bit more often. So some of these reasonable accommodations, it makes me crazy, but it's so important to have
That's
that law.
humane, not reasonable.
For real. No. And so we really, so it's like really straightforward laws, but if the women don't have the protections and if they don't know their rights, and I feel like that's a big part of Women Employed's ethos is we've been passing laws for 50 years, but if people don't know their rights in the workplace, they don't know the power they have as employees, they're not going to be able to fight for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
So back to this reasonable accommodation.
Yes.
Is there a list that employers are giving, like these are reasonable accommodations to help them create a plan, or is it up to them to figure it out?
Yeah, there are like rules and regulations that come with the, and literally some of like the top accommodations that are listed: drinking water, more frequent bathroom use, the ability to sit down, avoiding heavy lifting, carrying, weight limitations, without penalty. Yeah.
So before this law, pregnant women were getting fired for these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just, so often, as I think probably most folks here in the audience, mothers or caregivers of any kind, the woman wouldn't even wait to get fired, because if she knew that her body was at risk, her child was at risk, her baby, her unborn baby, she'd probably quit because she was so scared, or she may have had a scare at the job. And so, yeah, some people were definitely fired, and I think a lot of moms just walked away from their jobs because they were so scared of what might happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long ago was this again? What
Oh,
year?
it's crazy. 2015, and the federal
You
law.
said 2015.
2015, and the federal law was passed in 2023.
This is 2025.
Yeah, this is like 5 minutes ago that law was passed in 2023. No, it's wild. It's wild. It's good. You're going to really love the news about paid family leave.
Let's talk about that.
You thought that was good? So the United States of America
Yes.
is the only industrialized nation
Yes,
in
we're
the
out.
entire world without a paid family leave policy.
Yes.
So it's really up state by state, and currently 13 states and the District of Columbia have a law on the books. Women Employed is leading the fight with our Illinois Time to Care Coalition to fight for the paid family, it's like, I need to get it right, the Illinois Family Medical Insurance Act. And the reason it has insurance in the name is because it's basically, employers would be paying in, Bianca, something like 1% of employees' wages. It's almost like an unemployment pool, like paying into a statewide system that then workers could draw out when they're ready for leave. And this isn't limited to pregnant people. This would be if you are ill yourself, if you have a family member you need to take care of, anything pregnancy related. But also really important, this law would protect people involved with domestic violence and sexual abuse. This law would help people in the military. This law would cover us if we happen to go through another public health issue like COVID. And for parents who are listening, this paid family medical leave would even cover you if your child's school was closed or your child care was closed.
And we know how.
Oh, Lord.
That's like every other day.
It's like and then your whole, yes, then you're like parenting, you want to talk work-life balance, it's like, nope, it's all happening
It's
at the
all
same
happening at the
time.
same time.
Yeah. So we've been fighting really hard for that law, and it's wild. It's popular across voters, Democrats, Republicans, independents, and small businesses are really supportive of the paid family medical leave law, because if you think about it, they're competing against the major national corporations, global corporations. Most small businesses don't have the capacity to extend a paid family medical leave to their employees. So it's something like, a national poll was like 80% of small businesses support paid family leave laws, because then they can compete. Then there's a level playing field where they can compete against the big guys.
And keep their talent.
And keep their talent.
team.
And treat their talent well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do people join in on the fight?
Yes, yes.
What do we need to do?
Yeah, so I would say definitely connect with Women Employed. And it's just womenemployed.org. So women plural, employed, like we're working.org. And I'd say two things. One, you visit our Know Your Rights page. There is a fact sheet, an explainer, resources for every law that would be relevant to working families, whether it's at the city, county, state levels. So really making sure people know their rights. And then the Illinois Time to Care Coalition, we have a statewide petition. And of course, my comms folks are going to kill me because I can't remember besides Illinois Time to Care, but it's literally like iltimetocare.org. And we're signing petitions to our state legislators. So you don't even have to wait for that petition. If you know your local House representative or your state senator, you can reach out to them directly at your neighborhood office, or email them or call them and let them know how important this paid family medical leave is for all of Illinoisans.
Wow. With some progress that's recently been made, right, since 2015.
Yes.
Crazy. Many women still have to choose between a healthy pregnancy and keeping their income. Where do you see the biggest gaps in policy right now, in addition to what you already just shared?
Yeah, I really think it comes down to access to paid family medical leave, period. And then, you think beyond just pregnant workers, and you think about, parents, it's also childcare and access to high quality, safe childcare and affordable. And so that's like another set of issues that we work in coalition on, because we really do, Women Employed's approach. I loved hearing Star talk about like a holistic approach to caring for women, pregnant women, and after they have their babies. And that's really been Women Employed's ethos for 50 years. How are we helping women claim their power in the workplace at any stage of life? Like, just to kind of jump ahead, we're doing a really cool activity the second week of October with the Lieutenant Governor, Juliana Stratton, is called Menopause Awareness Week. So a little bit at the end of the spectrum of today's topic, but really from, when people are first entering the workplace, when they're pregnant, when they're parenting, and then really trying to bring attention across the spectrum for every stage and age at women at work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary Kay. When you picture a world where moms are truly held,
Yeah.
at home, at work, and in policy, what does that look like?
Yeah. You and I had a conversation and it really got me thinking about your first question. At home, it would mean your friends and family would offer to help without you asking. And truly holding the mother, friends organizing meal trains and scheduling time to come over, clean the house, take your older kids out, give you time to sleep, hold the baby so you can shower. Because I think, when we were first getting to know each other, we were talking about people want to help. And there was like, tell me what I can do. Give me a call when you need help. And so in addition to everything else, then it's like, oh, who should I call or am I going to bother them? Do they want to help? Are they going to be available? So I think point blank, step one at home, just proactively offer to help and show up for your friends that are just having their babies. At work, it would be women knowing that they have job protection. And so during their pregnancy and after giving birth, they would not be stressed about losing pay or losing their job. And at the policy level, it is pure equity. It's women not having to be worried, frankly, any worker with paid family leave, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of your income level. That type of law, that policy would hold mothers by letting them know, hey, your boss is going to treat you equitably across position, role, seniority. You can take the time you need to care for yourself and your loved ones, and you're going to be able to come back to your job and your wages with stability.
As we wrap up, Mary Kay, such important work going forth. What is one piece of advice you want to give to the teenagers, right? These are our next leaders, our next governmental officials. What do you want to tell them?
Yeah. I think, and it's interesting, parenting a couple teenagers or young adults right now, I think it's the willingness to learn, so to know, and then to speak up. Because I think so often people, young people especially, either won't seek out knowledge, especially as it relates to the workplace, or they're just like, oh, my boss won't do that, or I don't want to make trouble, or I don't want to cause any harm, blah, blah, blah. But it's knowing what their rights are, especially as they enter the workplace, because people are, like, you start working at 15, 16, 17 years old. So it's like, what are my rights as a worker, even if I'm a teenager? And then when I know those rights, like having the courage to stand up for yourself and to speak up so that you can be safe and successful at work.
Mary Kay, thank you. Truly, thank you so much. And to your team at Women Employed for your continued advocacy work on behalf of women and families. On the other side of the break, mom of 3, Moniqueca Long, shares her transition journey back to work after birth. Stay with us.
For more than 40 years, CAN TV has been Chicago's voice, your voice. We've shared your stories, amplified your concerns, and celebrated your triumphs. Now we want to hear from you. What programs matter most? What issues should we cover? How can we better serve your community? Visit cantv.org/feedback today. CAN TV. Experience the power of community television.
Hi, I'm Gregory Smith, inviting you to join Darius Hillman and me for the new Can TV original program, Petty and Profound. Each week, Darius and I are going to prove that the pettiest observations can reveal the most profound truths.
From celebrity meltdowns and political mayhem to hidden gems of TV and the messiest moments on social media. Hop on the Petty bandwagon Wednesdays on Can TV Cable Channel 19 or stream on cantv.org or on the Can TV Plus app.
Elevated conversation and storytelling. Experience the power of community television.
Moniqueca Long is a mom of 3, a full-spectrum doula, childbirth educator, and mental health advocate. She joins me now to share her experiences returning to work after having a baby. Moniqueca, welcome to Behind the Confident Smile.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. We are going to be talking about this transition back to work, right? With your latest child. And then we might dip into the other 2 too.
Okay.
What was the hardest part for you about transitioning from maternity leave back to work? And how did you prepare yourself for that shift?
The most difficult part was that I was already a mom. And the mom that I was becoming, I didn't know who that was. The demands that were going to be on me, I could never have imagined before it happened. And what that means is I was mom to, let's just say, 1 and 2, and then carrying 3. And then so imagine how many times I had to shift the priority. But also I held all these other titles. So going back to work for me, it was necessary financially, but it also, I returned back with mom brain. So
and that's real. Like, what you say? Oh, I forgot.
Let me go back and read the training materials because I forgot. So it looked like me really just trying to figure it out. And my full-time work, I work in mental health, right? And in crisis work. So having to show up for others and figuring out how to kind of, detach from relating and being in the same space. And I also just kind of think about with my last child, right? Because I work remotely, but I also had the baby at home. Now, for a portion of that, I was working overnight while the baby was sleeping. But when the baby was up, I felt like I had to take care of her. I had to be the one. Or even when there was others helping, if I could hear her, mama's gonna come running, right? So that was always a challenge. And I also think about not so much of like job security, but the shifts, like making major shifts. At one point, I worked the day shift. But then, before my child was 1, while I was still lactating, and in many ways, not just recovering physically, but mentally, right? I had a complete shift change where I was working 8 a.m., now I'm working 8 p.m. And it was really little that I could do about it, except for, well, this is what the business needs. So, that was kind of my struggle with that.
Wow. So 8 p.m. was the start time, correct? To what time?
8 a.m.
Oh. Wow, caring for 2 older children. So when did you actually sleep?
I don't know.
Because the math not mathing.
I know. I don't know. And
you probably don't remember because you didn't sleep.
You're absolutely right.
Because when we sleep, our brains rest. So not being able to rest contributes to memory loss, right?
Yeah.
That math adding, I think.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. And there was times where I spoke with my supervisor, like, is there some way that, there could be different accommodations? And luckily, I work on a team of people who supported me through that. So we were able to, they were able to pick up where I couldn't, And so I'm grateful for that. But that was something that I had to advocate for. Even after I just kind of, was vocal about the shift change and what it would mean for me and my family and my children, not just the new baby, but the older 2.
Yeah. Who child? Yeah, balance, no such thing in that type of navigation, right? Like, so how have you found, I would say a dance, I call it a dance instead of balance, a dance between caring for your baby, meeting work demands, and caring for yourself? Because you mentioned when you were here, your child, you like, even though somebody else was watching her in the house, like, nah, I got it. But you working at the same time. So bring us into that.
Honestly, it was therapy. I had therapy before, so I was no stranger. I work in mental health, so I recommend it all the time. But really, giving myself the space to talk about it, to vent about it, to be annoying to myself and to my therapist. Because I was not in a place where I was willing to accept all the help that was around me, or even recognize it as help. So I would talk to my therapist, and slowly we worked through different things. Whereas now my newest thing is capacity, right? Do I have the capacity for it? I could absolutely do it. I've done many things on fumes, on burnout, but it's not cute, and I'm not the best parent when I'm, running on empty and I'm accomplishing a bunch of things. So my, just thinking about what I could do today, what needs to get done. This is my list. I have like maybe 20 things on a running list. Today I'm gonna do 3. And once I check off those 3 things, I'm gonna reflect, look at that and say, that was good, but I'm not doing anything else.
That part. You should see my list right now. Child. It adds like 10 hours to my life. But something you said that is, I think, critical to talk about is you mentioned not being able to recognize the support and the help around you. What do you think was a barrier or a shield to you seeing the help?
I felt very isolated because I felt like no one was going through what I was going through. I said, well, my mom, she had 3 kids, but she didn't breastfeed. She didn't live her life the way. She had all her kids by the time she was 30. I'm having my last baby at 35. So, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, well, my best friend, she has kids. She's too busy. My cousin, she has her own life. She's a career girly, so she doesn't have time to come over. And I was wrong, because those are all the people that showed up for me and more. So, it can feel very alienating seeing all these people around you, and then also kind of judging yourself. Like, I should be able to clean up my kitchen. I know everybody, my grandma did it, my auntie did it, my mom did it, so why is my kitchen a mess, I should be able to fold these clothes. I washed them, but I didn't fold them, So really, it's that inner talk, that critical self-talk, and that's why therapy was so important for me, because I had to recognize that I was disabling my help all around me by not recognizing that I didn't have to be so hard on myself, and I didn't have to be perfect. And what I ended up, figuring out, because I love to run my mouth. And so I told my mom, I was like, Mom, this is my journey. This is, I started realizing that, I had this person help me with this, and, Instacart helps me cut down on that. And she was like, oh, well, your auntie helped me, so she had the same journey, but we don't know that, right? Because we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Because we too busy trying to live this life.
And look good while doing it, yes.
Yes. So at what point for you did you start opening up your mouth? Was it after child 1, child 2, or child 3? Like,
you want me to be honest?
Yes.
It was child 3, and that's what's so crazy. It's honestly like a time where I'm starting to learn myself. And I don't fault myself for that, because I'm not the same me that I was 7 years ago when I had my second child, 13 years ago when I had my first child. So I'm learning this version of me. And I think that the difference is I'm just a little bit more intentional. I'm giving myself a little bit more grace. And I'm setting the tone. I don't have to do more than what I'm capable of or what I want, really.
Oh, what you got the energy for?
Exactly. Capacity.
Yes, capacity.
Capacity.
Like when that clock strike, whatever time, it's a wrap.
When I'm done, I'm done.
Oh. In what ways has your partner or closest support person helped you navigate this season? And where have you wished for more support?
That's a good question. I think my partner is a very good team player. You know, at different times, a team player in the sense of we switch positions all the time. I don't have to do all the cooking. He will cook, and even if he don't cook, he'll make sure we eat. So, and that has helped me, you know, really learn things about myself. Like he doesn't have to cook, but if he provides a meal, we're gonna eat, you know? So I just, I think that whatever roles are needed, he's willing to jump in where he can. And that's really been such a big and incredible help, you know? And that's allowed me really to connect to what I always wanted to be, which is a mother. I've been able to just give my children the experiences that I want to give them, whether it's decorating, singing, creating traditions. So that's what he's, you know, that's how he's showing up for me. When I think about what else I need, I don't know. I think I'm becoming, and so I just need more patience with myself. You know, I need that support of community, you know, to continue encouraging me to say, hey, if you are doing the best job at being mom right now, that's who you are, and that's enough.
Do you have affirmations that you say to yourself regularly?
Regularly, no, but sometimes I have as you could tell, my word is capacity. I'm at capacity. That's my affirmation. And that tells me that I've done enough. And that's good. It's such a, you know, it's not really a sophisticated word, but it's good enough where I understand that, hey, I've put in effort. I'm recognizing the effort I put in, and I'm going to go color. I'm going to go, you know, crochet, do my things. Yeah, do my fun things. Go hang out with my plants.
Yes. And transitioning back to work this last time, did your workplace offer any resources to you? Parenting support groups, anything that helped to make the return smoother? Because we know what didn't make it smoother, that switch to working at 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
You know what? I think that that's just the opportunity that most workplaces have, is to, you know, not just send us out on maternity leave and say, hey, you know, congratulations, and just expect us to come back. I do think that that is a missed opportunity in many workplaces where we need that support, because again, we're coming back and you just never know what people are carrying when they come back. You know, I walked out with 3 bags, I'm coming back with 8. And so, you know, that transition and recognizing the differences, just in what's happening currently in my life, it just would feel really good to be acknowledged, right? Not to just say welcome back, but to say, what do you need, right? And I think employers could be community, because a lot of us, we want to be loyal to our employers. We want to work there, you know, for whatever reasons outside of just money. And so I think that it's an important part of retention, is to feel like, you know what, when I left, I had this, and this going on. When I came back, I was welcomed with open arms.
What is one word of encouragement as we bring our time together to a close that you want to share with another mom who may be returning to work tomorrow?
If she's returning to work tomorrow, I'm gonna pray for you, girl. But I think I would tell her, you know what, tap into your community and know that whatever you need is not too much. Just ask for it. Because it's really nothing that's too much. The worst they could say is, I'm busy. And yes, you will feel discouraged and the no is okay, but still ask.
Still ask, yes. So much more to dig into, but I really appreciate what you have shared. Thank you for joining us, Moniqueca, and for sharing parts of your life with us. We're back after a short break. Stay with us.
Can TV is the lens through which Chicago's stories are told, harnessing the unifying power of community television. With Can TV On Demand, immerse yourself in the richness of our city through exclusive stories and programs tailored just for you, connecting you to the heartbeats of our streets, the voices of our people, and the spirit that makes Chicago unique. Discover the strength of your community on Can TV On Demand.
I'm Andy Zopp, the host of Chicago Newsroom 2.0. Every week, we gather for insightful conversations with local journalists and community leaders as we discuss the news of the day and how it impacts the lives of Chicagoans. Join the conversation on Can TV Cable Channel 19 or stream live on cantv.org or on the Can TV Plus app. Hyperlocal news and critical analysis. Experience the power of community television.
Beautiful people, as we bring this very special edition of Behind the Confident Smile to a close, I want to pause and honor every mom watching. Behind each birth story is your story, one of love and the steady courage it takes to show up every single day. But even the strongest mother needs someone to hold and witness her too. What we've heard from Star, Mary Kay, and Moniqueca is clear. When moms are supported emotionally, physically, financially, with laws that protect and uplift them, whole families thrive. So here's my invitation. If you're a friend or a family member of a new mom, look past the smile. Ask, how can I offer support? Offer to watch the baby. Drop off a meal, give a ride to a doctor's visit, or send a text just to say, I see you. Those gestures create big ripples of care. If you're an employer, church leader, or part of a community group, think about how you can create safe, flexible spaces where moms don't have to choose between caring for themselves and caring for everyone else. And to our lawmakers and decision makers, keep pushing forward policies that make motherhood safer and more supported. Things like paid family leave, affordable childcare, access to midwives, doulas, and mental health care. Let us each commit to this. No mom will ever have to smile through silent suffering. Together, we can make sure mothers feel seen, valued, and held. Thank you to my studio audience. And each and every viewer watching from a comfy sofa or their favorite park bench. And a very special thank you to my guest Star, Mary Kay, and Moniqueca. Until we meet again, keep striving, keep smiling.